The U.S. tells 2,000 troops to be prepared to deploy to the Middle East as second aircraft carrier strike group steams for the Eastern Mediterranean.
Our military leaders need to come together and say, we're not fucking doing this. We're not going to sacrifice any more American lives for the lives of people 50,000 miles away. Like, we have our own problems here. And we're about to get our military decimated by all the militaries across the world. And then what? What's the next step after that? Are you listeners going to send your kids to go die for this cause? I don't think so. And so now would be the time for you to stand up and be absolutely unshakably vocal and firm in your stance on this, that we are not fucking going to war. We are not fighting any wars for any motherfuckers over there or in Washington, D.C. anymore. It's mass non-compliance, and it needs to start with the military. It needs to start with the sheriff's offices and the police and the fucking political leaders on the state level. That shit starts to happen, we might be able to fix this. But if it doesn't, we're going to see a war like we've never seen before. And when they talk about what's left afterwards, it ain't going to be much. What is up, guys? It's Andy Frisella, and this is the show for the realists. Say goodbye to the lies, the fakeness, and delusions of modern society, and welcome to motherfucking reality, guys. Today we have Andy and DJ
Cruise the motherfucking internet.
And that's what we're going to do. That's what CTI stands for. It stands for Cruise the Internet. This is where we put up topics on the screen, we speculate on what's true, on what's not true, and then we talk about how we, the people, can be the solution to these problems going on in the world. Other times you tune in, this is an entrepreneurial success, personal development-based podcast, okay? We have Q&AF. This is where you could submit your questions and we answer them. Questions can be submitted one of a couple of different ways. The first way is,
guys, email those questions in to AskAndy at andyfrisella.com.
Or if you go to YouTube and you go in the comment section of the Q&AF episodes, which is usually on Mondays, and you ask your question down there in the comments, we'll pick some from there as well. Other times we have Real Talk. Real Talk is 5 to 20 minutes of me just giving you some real talk. Then we have Full Length. Full Length is where we're joined by a guest and we have a conversation, pretty much like, I don't know, every other podcast on the planet. And then we have 75 Hard Verses. 75 Hard Verses is where we bring people in who have completed the 75 Hard program, which is the initial phase of the Live Hard program, which can be found for free at episode 208 on the audio feed. Now, we bring people in who have completed the program, who were shitty before and who are much better now. And then we talk about what was wrong with them before and how they corrected these problems and how you could correct them too. That's the basis of 75 Hard Verses. With all this information that we give out for free, we have this thing we call the fee. When we say pay the fee, that means to share the show. All right. One thing you're going to notice is we don't run ads on the show. I don't take money from companies so that they can then leverage me for what I can and can't say. I try to keep it real with you guys. I try to bring the truth, my honest perspective, DJ's honest perspective, and we don't want to be leveraged. So in exchange for that, because this is not a cheap thing to do, I take a large portion of my life and spend a lot of money to produce this show. I just ask very simply that you share the show, all right? So don't be a hoe.
Share the show.
All right. Very simple. Mm-hmm. What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Yeah.
So are you?
Oh, you know.
What you got there?
Oh, little chapsticks.
Chapstick? What flavor? Is that cherry?
No, it's chapsticks. No, it's original. Why the fuck would I have cherry?
Cherry's a good one.
Why would I?
Well, you don't like the cherry chapstick?
No, bro. Hold on, Andy. Wait a minute. No, it's...
What are you talking about,
like,
bro?
You can't... Man, you can't...
Bro, there's only two good chapsticks.
We can't do
one
the
is the
cherry
Burt's Bees.
Burt's Bees, that's good.
Yeah, all right. They didn't pay me for that either.
No.
You know, they're probably a bunch of lefties anyway. Let's be real. They probably hate me, but I still use their shit.
Don't use their
good.
shit.
Yeah. See, that just shows you. If you make a great product, people are going to use it. They don't give a fuck if you don't like them.
That's all that matters.
All right. So you guys at Burt's Bees, you can hate me all you want. I'm still using your shit. Secondly, the cherry chapstick, the flavor kind. You don't like that?
No.
What's wrong with you?
No, I can't. It's just the flavors, bro. I can't do the flavor stuff. No, not at all. Oh, now what you got there?
This is the new Screaming Freedom First Form energy drink. It screams freedom.
There's an audio clip over there. She like put like a fucking speaker on every single one, like those Hallmark cards, where every time you open it, just fucking screams until the battery dies.
Fucking up my
Yeah.
Quit fucking it up.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
What's up, man?
Hey, man, listen. So I think,
That's definitely not an ad, by the way.
no, of course, bro, we don't do ads here. Everybody knows that.
Yeah. People are like, well, you're getting paid for it. Not yet.
Right.
This is a new thing for us. Yeah. Make sure you go in your local stores and tell them to carry our shit.
Or f off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. So, dude, being with you for almost 4 years now,
Mm-hmm.
I try to always scour the internet, right? And there's a few conspiracy theories out there of you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like, there's like Freemason shit. And
Oh, yeah, I get that one
controlled
a lot.
op, right? Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
But I think I got to bring something up because this has probably been the most, like, how do I say this? Like, bro, I mean, the evidence is there. Like, I mean, the dots do line up.
Oh, so
this,
it's
this conspiracy
this
theory
could be reality.
I mean, listen, it fucking makes sense.
Bro, I saw some ones. I saw people pulling like old pictures from like fucking 10 years ago of like certain hand things. And they're like, this guy's a plant. He's Freemason. Yeah, dude. Yeah. It's like, look how he's shaking hands.
Listen, I'll let the people decide, man, but I think this one's pretty convincing.
Okay.
All right.
Well, let's hear it.
So let's get into it. So I think we got to start it off, okay? Because this is what triggered this. It was a headline I saw. And I immediately, I looked through it. I'm like, oh, shit. Like, this is not good. So this is the headline for everybody, okay? Most popular Halloween candies according to Instacart shopping data, okay? Now, it seems, there's not nothing too much there that's screaming out, right? But we dive into this article, and it says October is in full swing somehow. Many people are eagerly anticipating the spookiest season of the year, and with it, one of the tastiest, too. Trick-or-treat time, right? Everybody loves that. So Instacart did this top 10
Hold on.
list.
They're talking about you in the article, bro.
What'd they say?
They said the online grocery delivery and pickup service Instacart revealed top candy cravings among Americans, and it definitely contains chocolatey dreams. They mentioned you because you're the chocolatey dream.
Yeah, I'm fucking...
That's DJ the chocolatey dream over there.
Balls, you know what I'm saying?
I can't believe you brushed over your own men. Stop being so humble.
Yeah. Well, but no, man, I was going through this, right? So they got this top 10 list, and they calculated it based off the total weight of each type of candy sold on its platform in October 2022. All right. Now, I thought it was a very non-biased list. It made sense. Okay, here's the list. Undefeated Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. That's number 1, right? But you scroll down to
Mississippi.
Oh. No, that's Alabama.
That is fucking Mississippi.
Is that Mississippi?
The green is Georgia. The orange is Alabama.
That's Alabama. So, okay, so
then Mississippi, then Louisiana.
So you're DC, West Virginia.
Louisiana.
Huh?
Mississippi.
Yeah. Mississippi.
Yeah.
That's my conspiracy theory, bro.
Okay.
I'm putting it out there.
Well, here's my concern. What the fuck is the red vines?
What is that?
What are you guys doing out there in California and Nevada?
I mean, that just makes sense, though.
What is it? Yeah, you're some weird ass people, man.
They're doing it for the environment.
Let's see who, okay, yeah, no shit. Yeah, you know that shit's terrible, whatever that is.
Nobody likes that shit.
No.
That's not even top 10.
Florida's got dum-dums. That kind of makes sense. Florida man likes the dum-dums. Synonymous, right? No offense, because that's where I belong too.
Isn't it weird the North likes the chocolate M&Ms?
I think chocolate M&M. I think chocolate M&Ms are the superior M&M.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I like the peanuts.
Yeah. I think. Let's see. What's New York got? New York's got Twizzlers. They're all right. They know what's up there. Candy corn.
Yeah, West Virginia.
Well, that kind of makes sense.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's where my conspiracy theory is leading me.
Yeah. It's not true.
No?
No.
All right.
And even if it was, it's still not true.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Tootsie
Pops. How do we get Tootsie Pops here in Missouri?
Yeah, I didn't get that one.
Is it Tootsie Pops like the sucker with the
suckers with the chocolate in there? Yeah.
No, man. The Tootsie Roll is superior to the Tootsie Pop.
See, I wouldn't agree with that statement. I think both of them are like below the line issue for me. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let's be real. At the top of the list, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups belong.
I think that's accurate.
That is a statement we can all be united in.
Nobody's mad at that.
We can unite against tyranny under the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup.
Bro, put those bitches on s'mores.
Yeah, just anyway.
Man.
They're good as cups. They're good as like the Easter ones, like the Halloween. All of them doesn't matter.
Those piss me off.
Why?
The little mini. It's too much work. Like all that fucking foil. And
you're talking about the mini cups.
I can't stand those.
Yeah.
Let's piss.
You gotta eat like 5 of them at a time.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like I unwrap 5 of them at a time, just so they're ready to go.
Just candy corn though. It's on the list. For as much hate as it gets equal love.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, dude.
It is surprising that it beat.
I'm gonna make a candy corn flavor energy drink.
Oh man, there's a candy corn flavored whiskey apparently.
I saw it. Everybody on the internet's been sending it to me.
Yeah,
like you guys are sick. I got my limits.
Like who hurt you?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, why would you do that? I fucking love whiskey.
I'm just telling you, the passion for candy corn is a deep passion.
Mm. Yeah,
it's like Beanie Babies.
What is that? How?
Yeah, it's just like people that are into it. They're into it, man. Bro, you don't remember Beanie Babies?
No, I remember. I just didn't know how
people that were into those, man. They could they put their whole life savings into those fuckers.
That's true.
Anyway,
yeah, I just thought this was interesting, man. You know, it's also I also thought it weird that Hawaii is like Ferrero Rocher. Like that's just such a weird.
So is fucking Texas. That's not true.
Yeah, that's just weird.
This is bullshit.
You call them bullshit on it?
Yeah, this whole chart. This is bullshit.
You want to fact check this?
Fucking Sour Patch Kids. That's trash.
Oh, easy. Hold on.
That's trash.
Yeah,
Sour Patch Kids. No. That's trash.
Andy, all right now. Listen, that's where I draw the goddamn line.
All right.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I just thought that was interesting, man. They put it out there. I just, yeah.
It's definitely not true.
Yeah, all right. Well, you heard it here first. Connect those dots.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into it, man. Because listen, we got a lot of shit going on in the world as always. So let's make some sense of it for the people.
Yeah.
Guys, remember if you want to see any of these pictures, articles, links, videos, go to andyfrisella.com. You can find them there. You can also drop down in the description below if you're watching on YouTube. You can find them linked there as well. So with that being said,
hold on, we got breaking news.
Oh, we do. What we got?
Breaking news. DJ loses $1,000 bet at the farm.
Oh, hold on now. Hold on now.
Oh, yeah.
Because if I recall, so yes, okay. But then if I recall, there was a double or nothing.
There wasn't. Because remember, I said double or nothing, and you said okay, but then we didn't play for like 2 hours.
No, we played 10 minutes later.
No. There was no handshake there.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. I see how you do
I'll give you a pass, though.
Okay.
I'll give you a pass. We'll call it even. Just 'cause I'm a nice guy.
Bro, when that shit blew up, I said, fuck. I was supposed to do that. Like, man, you take EBT, bro.
I told you I was going to hit that motherfucker.
Yeah.
You guys only have to wait to see the video, but it's good.
It's coming out. It'll be good. It'll be good. Yeah. Yeah, so that was a good time, man.
Yeah,
good time,
great time.
But yeah, headline number 1, guys. Let's get into it. Headline number 1 reads: London is falling. Anti-Israel protesters raise Palestinian flag on statue of King Charles I. Wave Kafeye. How you say that? Not. Because I thought you were.
He's Bosnian, bro.
Kafeye.
Hey, whatever.
Yeah. Wave scarves around his head, beat pro-Israeli protesters. So thousands of Hamas supporters rallied Sunday in London, England, in support of Palestinian people after the historic bloodbath in Israel less than 10 days ago. Hamas supporters blame Israel for the bloody slaughter of Jews in Israel, including nearly 300 kids and young adults at a music festival in the desert. The protesters raised the Palestinian flag on the statue of King Charles. So I got the video for you, and this is going to make a little bit more sense because we got a long thing here, right? But here's a video of the clip that's been going around. So these protests have been happening. We actually had one here yesterday in St. Louis. Yeah, downtown St. Louis. We had the Day of Jihad this past Friday that went around. All the intelligence communities were kind of spinning up around that. In France, they had to evacuate one of their schools days after the Day of Jihad for a bomb threat. But here's the interesting thing with the narratives that we're starting to see coming out of the leadership of these countries. Macron calls for ruthless deportation of all migrants with ties to Islamic extremists from France. You know, so all of these countries that were supposedly welcoming anybody and everyone, they're now calling.
I thought it was about diversity.
Yeah, inclusion. Bring them all.
I thought it was about escaping tyranny. I thought it was about refugees. I thought it was humanitarian. I thought this was asylum seekers.
Starting to see a flip. And I think it was, I just like the language that ruthless.
Who's that guy? You know that guy?
What was that guy's name?
That fucking guy. What's that guy? That guy with the big mouth. He yells at shit on the internet.
Candy corn.
Yeah. He loves candy corn. What was that guy's name?
Randy?
Yeah. Man, your teeth look great, dude. Holy shit.
Thank you.
Those motherfucker.
These are the final ones, yeah.
God dang, man.
Yeah.
That's a $1 trillion smile right there, brother.
$1 billion smile.
You look fucking great.
Thank you, brother.
Damn. Anyway, what was that guy's name?
Randy?
He's a nice guy, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a nice
guy.
Randy Consuelo.
Yeah, Randy Consuelo, man.
Randy Consuelo
you know,
guy,
he I think he said, I heard him say, I thought a few times like, hey, these people are going to have to be rounded up and sent back where they came from.
You just didn't use their language.
So is Macron listening to the show?
I think so. Yeah.
Shit.
And somehow ruthless deportation, like that's acceptable. You know?
Yeah, it's acceptable now. 5 minutes ago when we were saying, hey, these people got to be deported, I was a fucking racist.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I just think, hey, listen, we call it out how we see it. All right.
Bro, when are you guys just going to start listening to me, man? I call this shit out 3 years in advance every single time. The world, dude, you guys elect me to run shit, we'd be good. All right? I wouldn't put up with none of this shit.
But here's
because I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I don't care. Oh, there's a fucking yeah, cool. Yeah. Cool, man.
I'm a jacked one too.
I don't give a shit.
But yeah, man, so all of this stuff's going on. We got FBI Director Christopher Wray says Americans should stay vigilant of increased Hamas threats. During a Saturday speech at International Association of Chief of Police conference in San Diego, California, Wray took time to offer, quote, heartfelt condolences to the people of Israel and share the outrage I know we all feel at the sheer brutality and disregard for innocent lives there. Fox News reported. Little hypocrisy, too, and this is going to make sense very, very shortly. So this headline reads, sinister, IDF blast Hamas for stopping Gazan civilians from evacuating, right? Saying that, quote, Hamas has both issued warnings to their civilians not to evacuate, and when people didn't listen to those warnings of Hamas, they have actually stopped civilians and have stopped convoys of Gazan citizens trying to flee from the situation. IDF spokesperson Lieutenant Colonel Jonathan Sirikis explained in the daily briefing shared to social media. This is the same guy that compared the Israel-Hamas situation to our 9/11 in Pearl Harbor, right? Now, here's the interesting thing.
A lot of people got upset about that.
Yeah, well,
they started trying to play the proportion game.
The name ratio.
Yeah, listen, bro,
game,
I don't give a shit about that. I'm talking about actual human beings. We're not doing fucking math. Half of y'all don't even know how to do math. You're over here telling me 2 + 2 = fucking 5 now. So I don't give a shit about your math. We're talking about actual human deaths.
Yeah. Well, also the meaning too.
I'm tired of it. Like, dude, the hypocrisy to look past what's happening in our inner cities in terms of the murders that happen in our country, on our soil, and care about a few thousand people across the earth, but don't give 2 fucks about these people down the road. I can't stand that. I can't even take you serious. Mm-hmm. Like, you want to know what racist is? That's fucking racist, because most of those people that are being murdered happen to be black.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they'll go march and, support them burning some shit up.
It's whatever.
But here's the interesting thing. So you got Israel saying that Hamas is not letting people leave. Mm-hmm. At the same time, this report's coming out saying that Gaza aid stuck as Egypt says Israel not cooperating. So all of the humanitarian aid that Egypt's trying to offer, Israel's not letting come in. Mm-hmm. It's just a little weird. Now, that's going to make sense here very, very shortly, but the more latest updates we got on the situation.
See, I heard the other side of that, too. I've heard both that Gaza was stopping the civilians from leaving, and depending on where you read, I've also heard that the surrounding countries are closing the border, not allowing it.
Not allowing them in.
Yes, yeah. I've heard both.
Yeah.
It's hard to know what the truth is because it depends on who owns the media.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, I mean, so the report that Israel's not cooperating, that's Reuters. I mean, they're typically pretty spot on.
Yeah,
when it
I don't
comes
know,
to that
man.
type of stuff. I don't know, man. But the latest updates is that the U.S. This headline reads: U.S. tells 2,000 troops to be prepared to deploy to the Middle East as second aircraft carrier strike group steams for the Eastern Mediterranean, and that comes right as Iran just issued a very ominous threat to the United States and deadline warning to Israel. With their Iran's foreign minister issued a threat on Sunday, said that the United States would see heavy losses and warned Israel with the deadline to end its military actions towards Gaza. Now, this whole situation about, Hamas not letting people out, Israel not letting stuff in, this article, I had to dig for this, right? This headline, Andy, read that headline for me.
Watchdog groups, Soros Foundation funds pro-Hamas organizations. Watchdog groups say Soros Foundation funds pro-Hamas organizations.
Now, does that make sense?
Yes. Makes sense to me.
Wait, so you're telling me, because George, aren't they Jew?
Yes.
And they're supporting?
Why?
How?
Why would that be?
How does that?
Why do you think that is?
Oh, it's obviously intentional, right? It's intentional. All of this fight, and see, that's what most people don't understand. Like, they see these things as this conflict where there's this one side and this one side, right? Like, and they're both going. They're not understanding that both sides, like, this is all intentional stuff that's being orchestrated by a few elite that are paying both sides to do this, because the people who stand to benefit from both of these conflicts, the amount of money, the amount of resources, the amount of power that stands to be benefited from these conflicts that we see all over the place, man, it all stems back to the same exact small group of tyrants.
Mm-hmm.
They want this shit to happen. That's how I see it.
Yeah, well, what else you got?
Yeah, I mean, and the letter. So this came out of America's Watchdog, right? So they wrote this letter to open source foundations. Alex Soros, the son, who's now the chair of it, but they found about 7 or 8 different organizations that open source is completely funding, who has stand out and completely openly supported Hamas. And saying that their donations have gone straight to the bloodstream of those who seek to exterminate Jews and push Israel into the sea. So it seems like there's this almost like awakening inside of even the Jewish community, realizing like, hey, there's some interesting weird things that are happening. How do they make sense of this?
I've seen a lot of Jewish people and a lot of Israeli people come speaking out against the state of Israel recently. It's actually pretty bizarre. And I think it's also important for us to delineate between, like I said on last week's show, if you didn't catch it, there's a difference, just like there's a difference here between the American people and the American government. I think every single American listening to this show understands that our government's not representing us properly right now, right? Like, they're not doing our bidding. They're not doing what is in our interests. And we're all pissed off about it because we're all feeling pain over it.
Yeah.
And we have to keep that in mind when we look at other countries. When we look at Israel, we have to understand that most of the Jewish population that lives in Israel is not represented by the Jew elite, people who are in control of Israel. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, and the same goes for the people of Iran. The same goes for the people of Russia. The same goes everywhere. Like, we're dealing.
The argument is universal.
Yes, we're dealing with humanity who is represented by some people who are not part of the same group. And we have to keep that in mind when we talk about these people, right? Like, when we talk about Palestine and we talk about Palestinians, most Palestinians are not Hamas, okay? When we talk about the Zionist Jew elite class, right, that runs the World Economic Forum or, is in control of Israel right now, which, by the way, up until a week ago, most of the citizens fucking hate it.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
They were about to outthrow.
We have to understand that this is not as simple as just saying it's Jewish people or it's Palestinians or it's Russians, or that's a generalization they want us to have so that we will buy into the efforts to destroy each other. All right? So it's just not true.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when we look at why Soros, what has the actions of George Soros produced over the last 40 years? destruction, death, chaos. All right. And for whatever reason, we don't really know. But the main point is anything this dude puts his hands on is bad for us. And that's been proven over and over again. So when I see this and I see that he's funding, now this is speculation. I'm just connecting dots logically. When I see this thing where he's funding Hamas, all right, Hamas attacks Israel. Israel allowed the attacks to happen. Regardless of what you say, they were allowed to do these attacks, okay? They have the highest surveillance capacity of any country in the history of Earth at any time, with the best technology, the most, they are known for this. This is what they are known for.
They're known about it.
They're not known for the most powerful army. They're known for the best surveillance. And they're known for sharing that surveillance with us and those techniques with us over the course of time that have helped make our cities safer, okay? So there's good and bad here, all right? But there's no fucking way that they didn't know this was happening. It's impossible.
No.
All right? So they allowed this to happen. So the question becomes, why did the Israeli government allow Hamas to attack Israel citizens? These are three different groups of people.
Right.
All right? The reason is, in my opinion, there's a few reasons. But the main reason that I believe that has caused this attack to be able to happen is that this narrative that quote unquote elite Jewish people are controlling a lot of these mechanisms that are fucking up the world, the banking system, World Economic Forum, right? And keep in mind, this is not anti-Semitism. This is pointing out there are people who are criminals who happen to be Jewish who are all working together to create this disruption.
Yeah.
And that's being exposed. And what's also been exposed is how the ADL has used, quote unquote, the term hate speech to deflect any criticism of these actions. That was exposed for the 3 weeks leading up to this. All right. You have Netanyahu, who was basically ready to be overthrown 2 weeks ago. Now people are supporting him. So their narrative was crumbling. Okay. So what better way to garner support for what they're doing than to stage themselves as the victim of these attacks where real people, their citizens that they're supposed to love and care about and be one with are actually killed. Okay, that's the first reason. The second reason is, and we have to think a few steps ahead, why would George Soros, why would these people fund Hamas to attack their own people? Why would they do that? Well, what has the Open Society Foundation typically, what has been their mission across all in Europe and now in the United States is to diversify the population, open borders, and create a more united globe, right? Globalization, which is communist, by the way. And when we think about the destruction that's been done in France, in Ireland, all through Europe with the migrant crisis, all right? Now to the point where Macron is like, nah, f that, I'm done with this shit, okay? And he's been a supporter of that for years and years and years. Think how bad it's had to have gotten for him to be like, no, I'm not doing that anymore, okay? Now, we have all these things in play, but ultimately over the course of the last, 20 years, we've seen things come into play. We've seen things like political correctness. Don't say this, even if it's true, because it offends people. Okay. We've seen things like participation trophy. There's no nobility in actually being the best. Showing up is enough. Removes the ability and the understanding of competition. The first part of political correctness is to remove the truth. Okay. Then we go into silent majority. Don't talk about politics because it's rude. Just be a part of the silent majority, AKA don't talk about it because if you talk about it, other people will join you. All right. So be quiet. All right. Then we have cancel culture. Cancel culture. If someone says something out of line, crush them. Take everything. Take their bank. Take their this. Take their that. And all the while they've implemented all of these societal weapons onto our culture, they've started to create scenarios where crazy shit's happening that people are afraid to speak about. right? The borders are wide open. The crime in the cities, all of our money being sent to Ukraine, our strategic oil being at zero, our money being inflated, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We go down the list. Okay, so in short, the destruction of the American culture. Now, let's think about the pure numbers here. All right, there's 14 million Jewish people in the world. There's 1.8 billion Arab Muslims. And then there's, I think, another billion non-Arab Muslims. All right. So you have 14 million people versus 3 billion people. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's 14 people versus 3,000 people in scale down numbers, just so you can understand. All right. So Hamas attacks Israel. Hamas won't allow the citizens to leave. Israel invades the ground attack and by default kills a ton of citizens, creates a Palestinian genocide. Mm-hmm. All right. Now, what do you think the rest of the Arab countries are going to think about that? They're going to be upset.
They're going to be pissed.
Okay. And we're seeing this in the streets. This is what we're seeing everywhere. Now, do you think George Soros knows this or doesn't know this?
No, I think he knew this.
Okay.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
So what is this going to lead to? Well, it's going to lead to Iran getting in, like they're saying, yep. Okay? And then it's going to lead to all the other countries that Iran is aligned with, mm-hmm. Russia, China, the BRICS alliance, mm-hmm. all of these people siding together on one side, which a lot of those countries has already come out and said, we support Palestine. Mm-hmm. All right? Now, America and America's government is very pro-Israel, okay? But America's people are starting to realize, holy shit, we're going to get drug into this fucking world war. And what's going to happen as a result of this is likely, and not maybe not likely, but likely a worldwide conflict because of this. All right.
While we're at our absolute weakest
Correct.
State we've ever been in.
Which who is involved in that? The same guys who are funding Hamas. So we're talking about a chain of events that could potentially end up with America being conquered, which I believe is the ultimate goal, which is what I said for years and years and years. Okay. And this doesn't have to do with the Jews or whatever the fuck you guys want to say. This whole defense of anti-Semitic by calling people out is over. Okay. It's over. We're going to call you out if you're a fucking criminal. We don't give a shit if you're black or you're white or you're Jewish or you're something else. This identity politics game is done. We are hurting here in America. Our economy is shit. Our crime is crazy. All of these things that are going on that are destroying our way of life. You're not going to continue to shame us into pointing out or into staying silent when things are fucked up. We're going to point them out. So when it comes to what's actually happening, what I believe is actually happening, and I could be wrong. I hope I am wrong. But what I believe is actually happening is the setup for Israel to kill as many Palestinians as possible, and then for the backlash to create almost a second Holocaust situation that we have to get involved in that ends up destroying America in the long run.
Yeah.
I don't think that any of these guys, Klaus Schwab, Soros, any of these people, I don't think they give two fucks about the average Jewish citizen.
No.
They do not care. And Jewish citizens, just like American citizens or Israel citizens, are brainwashed into thinking that those people actually care about them. Just like we assume here, a large majority of our country still assumes that the Biden administration is working in our interests. They are not. All right. So, it's very dangerous. It's very complicated. There's a lot to it. And you can call people the names and you can say they're wrong and you could say this, but ultimately, everybody has to take a step back and ask, how is this going to affect you? How is this going to affect your family? How is this going to affect your future? And for the future of humanity, if this continues, this is not good for anyone.
No, all this is doing is setting up the hate for our grandchildren. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, our future grandkids will be fighting each other because of this shit, right?
Yeah, what's left of them.
Yeah, I mean, whatever they're allowed to, whatever crumbs that are left for them. And it's like, my thing is like, okay, so as an American citizen, what actions should we be doing? Whether that's vocally, whether that's, because like, here's the thing, like, everybody laughed in, the 1970s with like the anti-war hippie movement and stuff, right? But like, That's kind of what we need right now, bro. Like we are in
We
no
need more
position.
than that.
We're in no position to
We
fight.
we need our entire military to do their job and uphold the Constitution and stand with the people of America and stop doing the bidding of corrupt tyrants who are compromised by other countries and start doing the bidding of the American people. That's what we need.
Yeah.
We need the military leaders who sign an oath to represent the people of this country, loyal to the Constitution, to fulfill that oath. The mechanisms are already in place. People just aren't following them.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
Yeah.
And do I think that'll happen? I think if that were to happen, I think if that was going to happen, it would have already happened. It would have happened with COVID. It would have happened with the election. I think our high-level military leaders are compromised just like our president is. And I think there's a ton of good men and women. 99.9% of the people in the military are people that think they're doing the right thing, and they think they're serving the American people by serving those people in Washington, D.C., but they're actually going to end up getting us killed. And so what needs to happen is our military leaders need to come together and say, we're not fucking doing this. We're not going to sacrifice any more American lives for the lives of people 50,000 miles away or however far it is, right? We're not doing that. Yeah. Like, we have our own problems here. And we're about to get our military decimated by all the militaries across the world. And then what? What's the next step after that?
That's the thing. What happens after that?
What's the next step after that? Are you listeners going to send your kids to go die for this cause? I don't think so. And so now would be the time for you to stand up and be absolutely unshakably vocal and firm in your stance on this, that we are not fucking going to war. We are not fighting any wars for any motherfuckers over there or in Washington, D.C. anymore. It's mass noncompliance, and it needs to start with the military. It needs to start with the sheriff's offices and the police and the fucking political leaders on the state level. That shit starts to happen, we might be able to fix this. But if it doesn't, we're going to see a war like we've never seen before. And when they talk about what's left afterwards, it ain't going to be much.
No.
And your whole dreams and all your dreams for your life and everything are fucking over. And that's real shit. And we're at the inflection point. This is why I've done this show for so long. This is why I continue to come on here and talk about these things, because I've been trying to avoid this from happening. And here we are. It's on the fucking doorstep. And, you know, when we think about what happened during 2019, when did the drama of 2019 start up? It started in October of 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's October of 2023. And this is going to be built into some lasting conflict that becomes this major thing. I told you guys it was going to be a war or a pandemic. The only part I fucked up is I thought they'd do it before midterms, but they haven't. Now they're doing it before the actual election, and this will be their reason to either steal the election again or not have it at all. Yeah. And dude, if you do not stand up and you do not stand firm and you do not fucking voice this, you are going to have to live with the idea that you contributed to the downfall and the conquering of America.
Oh, man. Guys, jump in on this conversation. Let us know what you guys think down in the comments using hashtag #ringleader, and let us know what you guys think.
The Jewish population is 16.1 million.
Okay.
Not 14.
All right, I got it wrong. It's 16 million, not 14 million. So it's 16 versus 3,000.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Well, guys, let's keep this cruise on the move. We got, before we get to headline number 2, let's cruise some comments.
All right.
Yeah. Cruise the comment, guys, today is brought to you by @JBulldog104. They say, quote, can we take a moment to think about how organized and planned the Israel conflict really was? The day after the attack, there were pro-Palestinian protests with professionally made banners and signs. How did they get those overnight? That's one of the biggest things I've noticed in all of this.
Uh-oh. You're noticing things you're not supposed to notice.
Bro, we're silent majority.
Yeah. Yeah, you're noticing things. Don't notice things. Otherwise, you're, a racist, an anti-Semite. If you notice anything.
It's a great point.
Yeah. Don't talk about it or you're a fucking bigot, right? Join the current thing. Otherwise, you're a piece of shit. What side are you on? Oh, no side, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So,
oh, dude, it was a
great observation by this person.
Absolutely great. It's the same thing they did with the Russia-Ukraine war, right, bro? I think before, it was February of 2021? Mm-hmm. January of 2021, people couldn't even tell you what the Ukrainian flag looked like.
Bro, listen, we're being fucking played. We're all being played over and over and over again, and they're using these societal tools that I just mentioned in the last segment: cancel culture, political correctness, silent majority, censorship on the internet, the removal of competition. They destroyed American culture. Now they're actually trying to destroy America. And if you guys don't fucking sack the fuck up and start being actual adults and realizing that it's you now, it's not the forefathers, it's not your grandpa, it's not your dad, it's you, and it's your time to stand the fuck up. Unless our men do that, we're fucking done.
Mm-hmm.
And that's real shit. Your kids will not have the chances that you've had. And you have to be honest with yourself. You may be saying, oh, well, I didn't have much of a chance. Real talk, bro, you fucked off most of your life. Okay? Your kids aren't going to even have the chance. They're going to be slaves, and bigger slaves than you could ever imagine, if they're even allowed to survive. So the atrocities that are going to come from what we're talking about are of biblical proportions. We're talking about the mass slaughter and genocide of massive amounts of people on the earth for different reasons, mostly because they were born a certain way. Jewish, Muslim, Christian. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're dealing with
American.
shit. Yeah. And it's all being spurred on and having gas poured on the fire by the global elite class. That's our administration. That's the administrations of all the NATO countries. That's, I mean, bro, it's the richest, most powerful people in the world. They're trying to kill the rest of us. Like, when they get on stage and talk about depopulation, you understand they're not talking about them.
Yeah.
So how do you do that?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you could do it through, Bill Gates said it, vaccines.
Yeah.
You can do it through pandemics. Or you can say, fuck it, and we'll just do it through a war.
Mm-hmm.
Every generation of American men gets sent to war. Why? Why is that? It couldn't be because if we had powerful, strong leaders and men here in this country, our government that's so corrupt wouldn't be able to operate. Could it be? Could it be that? Because that's what I think it is. I don't think it's a coincidence that every single generation of men face some sort of high casualty conflict that has nothing to do with their freedom. We get on a plane or a boat and we go over there and we get fucking killed. And it's our strongest, it's our best, and it's our most healthy male population. Yes, they use our own patriotism and our own love of each other and this country against us. Why? It's because they know that if they don't remove the strongest men from society, the strongest men from society will eventually revolt and take their country back. And this is no different.
Yep. Yep. It's like the annual checkup. They just trim the bushes a little bit,
yeah,
just to keep everything in check, man. But yeah, so no, guys, just want to take the time saying thank you. Thank you for being Real Ass Fans. We see it. We appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, just let's just take a moment right now and hit that little red button.
Oh, yeah. By the way, New Day in the Life series comes out on a premiere on YouTube this Wednesday night at 8 o'clock Central.
Yeah, so that's tomorrow.
Yeah. So if you're on the audio feed and you don't subscribe to YouTube, I think you're going to like that, because a lot of you guys think I just sit in here and like yell on the microphone all the time and I'm always angry. And that's not actually the truth.
Yeah,
I actually
yell off the microphone too.
Yeah, I do. But I have an awesome life.
Yeah.
And maybe it'll give you some perspective about me actually doing the work that I do here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I would much rather be doing that other stuff. And if we would all just get together and speak up and stand up together, we could all go do the other stuff and stop worrying about this shit.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Well, guys, let's keep this cruise moving. We got headline number 2. Headline number 2 reads, Trump has narrow gag order imposed on him by federal judge overseeing 2020 election subversion case. Shocking. Bro, I think I'll say this real quick. Like, you got to be a very conceited person, a very power struck person, right? To actually use your position and your position of authority to literally silence someone.
You're missing it. If he was so full of shit and it was such bullshit,
Let him talk.
Why don't you just let him talk? Because it would expose himself for being a dumbass. Okay? If you ever want to know who's in control, look at who you can't criticize.
Mm-hmm.
Look at who you can't point at. Look at who you can't say. people come out and say things, and then, they say, oh, well, you can't say this, or they'll take your bank account, or they'll take your this, or they'll take your that. We don't do that. The next day, dude's bank account's gone. They don't have a job. Like, what the bro? How can you guys not see what's going on here?
Man. It's not shocking, man.
We don't control we don't control that.
What?
Yeah. Next day.
Yeah. Wall Street blacklist fucking Harvard students.
Yeah, right.
Whoa.
Yeah, we don't do that kind of stuff. We don't
control the bank.
We don't blacklist people. Next day, bank account gone. We didn't do that.
Yeah, we have no control over it, though.
Dude, here's what's happening. People are seeing it. Mm-hmm. And it's dangerous.
And they're trying to control it
as much as
possible, which only exposes it even more.
Yeah, they're seeing the communism for real. Mm-hmm. People are seeing it.
Yeah, it's no different than this. But here's the thing. So, okay, cool. Gag order. Got it, right? But another shocking development in this Trump situation. Oh, first, let me quote the judge real quick. And this is from CNN. This headline reads, quote, Trump does not have the right to say and do exactly what he pleases, Judge Chutchin says while issuing her gag order. Yeah, I just come on, man.
Yeah, well, that's a violation of the First Amendment. That is the reason for the First Amendment. We're not communists.
No, don't criticize me.
But don't talk about us.
Yeah. Yeah, it's free America, though. Democracy. Just don't say it out loud. But did you see this, though, man? I thought this was an interesting development. I think this is actually going to, this is, I don't know how big this is going to be, but it's speaking to me for some reason. Did you see this? This headline reads, Trump sues ex-British spy over dossier containing shocking and scandalous claims. So he's suing Steele,
yeah.
Right? So a lawyer for Donald Trump told a London judge Monday the ex-president plans to prove that, quote, shocking and scandalous claims about him in a largely discredited report by a former British spy were false and harmed his reputation. Trump has sued the company founded by Christopher Steele, who created a dossier in 2016 that contained rumors and uncorroborated allegations about Trump that erupted in a political storm just before he was inaugurated. Trump is seeking damages from Orbis Business Intelligence for allegedly violating British data protection laws. Steele's firm is seeking to have the case thrown out, and the judge said she would rule at a later date after hearing arguments in London's High Court. I don't know what the implications of this is, man, but I just feel like it's bigger than what I'm able to see right now. Do you? I mean, you got anything on this?
Yeah, this dude should be hung.
Well, it's funny you say that because that's exactly what Trump said. Well,
oh, he did?
In Trump's way.
What did he say?
Yeah, so Trump, his quote, Trump, this AP News article still. Trump had called for Steele to be extradited, tried, and thrown in jail.
Yeah.
And called him a lowlife and a sleazebag.
He shouldn't be thrown in jail. He should be executed. Period.
Yeah.
And so should everybody else who went along with this whole thing. People don't understand what happened here. They needed something to attack him with, okay? So I just saw this clip on the internet today of San Francisco billionaires basically admitting that they were wrong about Donald Trump.
Teleconference thing,
yeah,
the Zoom call thing, yeah.
Yeah, and they were talking about how they voted for Hillary and they bought the bullshit about Trump, and they realize now that they're wrong. And why do you think they realize now they're wrong? Because they're getting crushed.
Bidenomics?
Right. They're getting crushed financially, okay? And this man, Christopher Steele, and Hillary Clinton colluded together to make up a fake document that said that Donald Trump colluded with Russia. And you can think whatever you want to think about Donald Trump, but most of the reason you think the shit that you think about Donald Trump is because they said it on the news based on this document.
That was authorized by the Obama administration.
So for, what is that? 7 years now, our country has been propagated with this fake shit about Donald Trump being some sort of Russian spy. So for 4 years, from 2016 to 2020, all we heard on the news every single day from the MSM talking heads was that Trump was a Russian asset, that he was a traitor, that he was this, he was that, he was this, he was that. And our media shoved that down our fucking throats, okay? And because of that, We've argued for 7 years with our friends, with our families, with our neighbors. Our peace has been disrupted. Our quality of life has been stolen from us, all because a few people, the Clintons and fucking Christopher Steele and a few other people in the media who don't want someone from the outside coming into the political spectrum, literally lied to the world and the American people and created this contentious disruption that has legitimately torn America apart at the seams. All right. How many arguments have you had about Donald Trump? How many of those of you that support him, how many of your family members have made fun of you, talked shit, said you're a dumbass, ripped you up and down, refused to have you over, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All of that shit is from this document. Every bit of it. Every bit of it. Okay. And because it was on the news, it was true. So these people don't deserve to go to jail. They deserve to be killed. All right. Because
there was intent there.
There was intent, and the intent was so damaging that we are literally, our country is on life support now because of this whole thing. These people deserve to be made an example of in the public eye for people for hundreds of years to understand you cannot do this shit. Okay, that's my personal opinion. Not jail, execution. If I was elected president, that would happen 100%. Okay, which is probably, ironically, why I won't get elected. But I'm sorry. Yeah. These people are evil. These people are stealing. See, you have to look at it the right way. A lot of you guys are in your 20s and in your 30s. I'm 44. Okay, every year that goes by, I start to realize, holy shit. It's actually happening, right? Like I'm getting older. Like I'm starting to value my time for what it is. And what a lot of young people don't realize is that your time that has been wasted on this and your country that's been damaged by this is time that you're not getting back. You can't get it back. So for the last 7 years, our entire country's been disrupted by this. This is not jail. This is execution. This is the same thing with COVID. COVID was a fucking total criminal play executed by a few key people who forced and intimidated and coerced and bribed and blackmailed people into going along with it. All right. That caused immense amounts of destruction, immense amounts of death, unnecessary suffering, the biggest transfer of wealth from one class to the elite class that perpetrated these crimes. This is not jail, bro. This is Nuremberg 2.0. This is unforgivable shit. Unforgivable. Unforgivable. That's my personal take. That's my take. You could disagree. You could say whatever you want. That's what I think.
No.
These people deserve death. They deserve the death of a tyrant. And the reason that we put tyrants to death this way is so that it ceases to happen again and again and again. Because unlimited power corrupts in unlimited ways, okay? When these people go into power and they are not afraid that they could potentially get beheaded or hung or electrocuted or shot, they do shit like this. Mm-hmm. And so the fear of the people needs to be reinserted into the political class in a very real way. Man, that's my take.
Real, man. Guys, tell us what you guys think on this. Hashtag silence down in the comments. Let us know. So with that being said, man, let's get into our third and final headline. Headline number 3. Headline number 3 reads, Jordan flips key votes for speaker. Live coverage. Jim Jordan's on the run, man. House Republicans are aiming to hold a full House vote Tuesday, that's today when you guys are listening, on electing the speaker. But their nominee, House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan, is still working to lock down support. Jordan won the nomination with 124 votes within the GOP conference and then claimed 152 votes when members were asked if they would support him on the House floor, leaving him short of the 217 votes he needs to get the gavel. But Jordan has been working to sway those skeptical of the fast-talking, hardline Ohio Republican. At the same time, the crisis in Israel has not abated, and the United States is barreling towards its next shutdown deadline, all while the House closes in on 2 weeks without a speaker. And And apparently he issued a statement too. He's saying Jordan on Monday indicated that he would proceed to a House floor vote for Speaker at noon on Tuesday, regardless of whether he has the 217 votes he needs locked down. Quote, "We will go to the floor tomorrow," Jordan told CNN on Monday. Quote, "It's not about pressuring anybody. It's just about we've got to have a speaker." McCarthy's even chimed in saying that he feels Jim Jordan would be a very good choice. Former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy said he is confident Representative Jim Jordan out of Ohio will have the votes to become his successor. He told Fox News' Brian Kilmeade on Monday ahead of the crucial vote. Quote, "I feel very good about where Jim Jordan is at. He has been an integral part of our team when we took the majority, helping us get the majority," McCarthy told. I feel like this stuff's also being drug out for some reason. Like,
yeah.
I don't get what's so hard about this.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Without a speaker, they can make no progress in a Republican-controlled House.
Mm-hmm.
It's very simple.
Yeah, nothing on the impeachment.
Correct.
Nothing on.
Yeah. That's what this is about. Okay, you have a lot of people who are in the Republican Party who are actually operatives from the Democrat Party.
Yep.
We call them rhinos.
Yeah, because they're way of life.
Republican in name only.
Yep. Their way of life is in jeopardy, bro.
Republican in name only means exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah.
It means they've run as Republican, but they hold viewpoints or connections politically, financially with the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
All right, which is basically we call the uniparty, which is just the group of corrupt people who are in there to siphon off money from every single war and every single tragedy that is imposed upon us for their own wealth and benefit. Okay, so dude, our whole government is totally fucked. It's totally fucked.
Yeah.
So, for far too long we looked away. And when we looked away, they fucking did what they do, and now we're dealing with it.
Yeah. Are you hopeful about Jim Jordan? You think he's
bro? I don't trust any of these people, man. Mm-hmm. At this point, I don't trust anybody anymore. Like when I said that on the show last Monday or last Tuesday, I said, dude, I don't trust them all. Whatever I've said about them in the past, I'm wiping the slate clean. That goes for everybody. It goes for Trump too. It goes for everybody. Okay, until we have some real leadership, until we have a real bad motherfucker that comes in and actually fucking does shit, not just talks a bunch of shit, I don't believe any of them. Trump should have put Hillary Clinton in jail when he was in there the first time. All right? We shouldn't even be here. This shit should have all came out. It should have all been exposed. COVID should have never happened. And who's suffered? We've suffered. We've suffered. So until we get someone from us in there, I don't believe anybody. I like what Jim Jordan says. I think he says a lot of really good stuff, but they're not getting anything done. And so I don't trust him, dude. I trust Eric Schmidt because I know Eric Schmidt. I know him personally. I've looked him in his eye. I've shook his hand. He's the only motherfucker up there I trust. The only one. Period. So that's how I feel. I don't believe that our current legislative group of politicians has very much I would say 80% of the people up there are for themselves, and there's a few people who have gotten in who care about the people, but those people are the people that they make look like they're crazy or they're unintelligent or they're stupid or they're a redneck or they're just a dumbass, right? Because the political elite class, you have to understand, they look their nose down at us. They assume they're smarter than us. They assume they're better than us. They assume all these things. But in reality, these people are not that. They are not our best. They are not our brightest. They are not our most intelligent. If they were our most intelligent in a capitalistic society, they would be out here making money as opposed to stealing it in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, they wouldn't have to be in
right.
Washington, D.C.
So they were either born into it or they come from that, blue blood Ivy League stock where it's an actual profession, not an act of service. And so we have a lot of realignment to do in the government in this country, and it's not going to come until there's an actual cultural revolution. This is why I talk about personal excellence being the ultimate rebellion, because politics is downstream of culture. And until culture demands citizens to actually go in there and hold these people accountable, it's not going to happen. What do you think is going to happen? You think they're going to hold themselves accountable?
Right.
Are they going to put themselves in jail?
Sorry, guys.
Are they going to pull themselves out of these corrupt positions where they're making hundreds of millions of dollars over the course of their career? No fucking way. You wouldn't either. Okay, that's why it takes a very special kind of person. A person who actually really does care about their fellow man. A person who actually understands that this is a position of service, not a position of entitlement and greed and, financial wealth. So I don't trust any of them. I think they're all full of shit. And until I see someone go in there and actually make some real difference, I mean, they're all kind of the same to me at this point. Like Matt Gaetz does some good shit. Mm-hmm. He's holding the line. There's a couple others, but these are the people that they make look crazy on the internet. So I don't know.
Yeah, guys, tell us what you guys think. Using hashtag and the winner is down in the comments. Let us know. So with that being said, man, that was our 3 headlines.
Cool.
It's time.
Yeah.
It's time for the final segment of the show. As always, thumbs up or dumb as f. That's where we bring a headline up. It'll get one of those 2 options. So with that being said, our thumbs up or dumb as f headline reads, martial artist punches 7-foot kangaroo that was drowning his dog.
I'd probably punch it too.
Bro, listen, those fucking kangaroos, man.
They punch back though.
They're vicious, bro.
Yeah.
And they're fucking yoked.
You ever see their claws?
Oh,
they got some real claws, man.
Nasty, man.
Yeah.
They're nasty. But so let's dive into this. It turned into a Roo-Jitsu match.
Oh, is this New York Post?
Yeah, of course.
Oh yeah, they came up with some creative stuff.
Yeah,
good job, guys. How'd you figure that out between your drool sessions? Like, holy shit.
Footage captured.
Water will kill you.
So will kangaroos. Footage captured the ludicrous moment that an Australian ex-cop and martial arts enthusiast punched an allegedly 7-foot-tall kangaroo that was drowning his dog, kicking off a wild interspecies brawl. Video of the Roo-Tanani racked up over 2.5 million views on TikTok before getting taken down. But a repost is currently blowing up on Reddit. I do wonder why I got taken down. Is it like animal abuse? You think?
Probably. We'll probably get our shit taken down if we show the fucking video.
You think so?
Probably.
I saw a kangaroo with his arms in the water basically just staring at me. Mick Maloney.
His name would be Mick.
That's such a badass name.
It is.
Mick Maloney.
Mick, yeah, Mick. Like that, if dude's name Mick, he'd probably punch you the fuck out.
Yeah, he'd probably punch you too.
Yeah.
Mick punches kangaroos for sure. Mick Maloney told 7 News of the ridiculous. Okay, New York Post. All right.
And they probably just made this shit up anyway. Let's be real. It is them.
So they say that the former police officer who reportedly trains in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu had reportedly been walking by the river when he noticed that one of his dogs, Hutchie, was nowhere to be found. Shortly thereafter, both the reason for their strange behavior and Hutchie's whereabouts simultaneously became crystal clear. Maloney reportedly looked at the river and saw a 7-foot-tall kangaroo with its arms submerged in the water. All of a sudden, quote, Hutchie came up gasping for air, water spilling out of his mouth and screaming his head off, the ex-cop recounted. Quote, I was like, are you kidding me? Exclaimed Maloney, who sprang into action to rescue him from his deadly interspecies baptism. However, the Roo appears to retaliate by striking back with its clawed paws, knocking Maloney's phone into the drink and causing the screen to go blurry and then black like in a found footage horror film. All the while, the sounds of interspecies scuffle continue in the dark until the Aussie retrieves his phone, which shows Hutchie safely on the riverbank. Yeah, I mean, listen, man, those kangaroos, bro.
I would have punched him too, bro. No bullshit. You don't fuck with my dogs, dude.
He grabs Otis. What's happening?
I'll kill him.
He's going down.
Yeah. I would fucking kill that thing, and would not even. I'd eat the motherfucker for dinner too, not care. I never killed an animal in my life. It'd be the first time.
But Roo was going down.
Fucking right.
Roo's going down.
No doubt.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, man. Yeah.
That dog. You see his dog's face. The dog's like, "What the fuck is going on, man?"
Bro, the dog's just trying to survive.
Yeah.
I didn't even know kangaroos can swim.
Well,
do they swim?
I don't know. He's 7 foot tall. He looks like he's standing on the bottom.
Standing up, yeah. That's true.
That's a big kangaroo.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway, I give it thumbs up.
Yeah, thumbs up. Everybody survives.
Yeah.
The kangaroo's fine, guys.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure he's fine.
Who fucking cares? Stop fucking with dogs, man.
What if it was a cat, Andy?
I mean, no, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't like seeing innocent things being with. Like it goes people, animals, it doesn't matter, dude.
Yeah,
like
innocence is innocent.
Yeah, like a lot of my buddies are like, man, you need to hunt, you need to go this. Look, dude, I would hunt if I needed to hunt. I don't need to hunt. I just don't.
Yeah.
Now, if I had to, I would. I would have no problem with it. If I need to hunt people, I hunt them too. But I don't have to yet.
Right. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like I don't like the idea of killing things that don't need to be killed. It's just not.
Sport. Yeah.
It's just not for me, dude.
Yeah, I get it.
You know. Now, if that line were to come and it has to be crossed, it is what it is. You know, it's probably a good skill for me to learn how to do, but I'm pretty sure if things were fucked up, I'd figure it the fuck out. I've watched enough of your motherfucking videos, bro. You shoot the motherfucker, you take its skin off, you cut the meat off, you throw the fucking shit on a grill, and you fucking eat it.
You missed a step.
Drain the blood out.
Nope.
What? Put some salt and pepper and
yeah,
shit.
season.
Right, exactly, bro.
Right.
I'm white. We don't do that. All right? Yeah, we eat it with some candy corn. All right? It is what it is.
All right, man. Well, guys, Andy, that's all I got.
All right, guys. Don't be a hoe.
Share the show.